Hello, my name's Nathan, and you're watching Robot Masters. I got a comment this morning about the lid issue. So basically, what they're having is once the self emptying bin is running, it pulls down on the lid, and then once it's done running, the back pressure opens up the lid, causing the app to say that the lid is open and the Roomba S9 will not start. So let's go ahead and dig deeper into the root cause of this. Before I do that, let's look at the comment I got from this YouTuber. This is from the username GavinTheGavin. I'm very happy with mine overall. The only issue I have with mine is that I think the base pushes the lid open because every few days it says lid is open and it won't start a job. I think when the base creates the vacuum in the third pin, it pulls it down and when it shuts off, it may push it back up a little and bump the lid. My plan is to make some tiny shims and see if they work to solve the problem. Other than that, my only nightmare came true last week. It ran over my cat's hairball while it was still fresh, and I almost had a heart attack when I got home from work. LOL, needless to say, the cats are going outside. First of all, I just want to shout out to the cats. I hope that it's not too hot out there for them and they can stay in a cool place. If I was a cat, I would be wishing to be inside. But let's go ahead and look into this lid issue. So yes, this could be a very well case scenario where once the self-emptying bins emptying out the contents, it is going to be kind of pulling down on the lid, pushing it down, um, causing the lid to say it's closed, which that's what it should do. And then after it's done, there may be a slight amount of back pressure coming from up here down into come out of this chute, which could kind of push it open a little bit. So if I go jump into the app, it doesn't take much to tell the app that it's open. I'm just gonna lift it up slightly. That was probably maybe a millimeter. And then if I push down a little bit, it says it's closed. Show that again. See, it doesn't take much. But one thing I noticed on mine, I don't know if this is the same on theirs, you don't technically have to latch it. You could just kind of rest it there, as I just kind of easily rest it, and it says it's closed, even though the latch isn't fully engaged. So let me show you the mechanism of how this lid works. There are four contact points, and each contact point is individually connected. So, meaning that it's not bridged in series. They're actually individual, and the same goes with these pads up here. They're individually connected. So, what I suspect is there's a little chip down here that tells the sensor that it is indeed closed or open. You do not want to bridge these together or it will cause weird errors. So what I kind of figure out what you can do is to raise these pads up a little bit. The easiest solution would be to take a soldering iron. I'll show you what that is. If you're not into electronics, it's basically a heat gun, kind of like welding. It heats up metal, and if anything that's metal, usually for electronics, it will solder on. So all you have to do is just put a little bead of solder on each of these contact points, taking care not to bridge them together. You don't want to bridge them, they want to be separate. So basically what you're doing is just increasing the height a little bit to allow this self-emptying bin to work. So if you're not comfortable with soldering, you can always buy a soldering iron for about 15 bucks. Take it up to your local hardware store. Ace Hardware around here are really good at helping you guys out. So yeah, usually Ace Hardware is the place I would go to have them help you out. And then just make sure you tell them to not bridge the pads, just add a little bead of solder on each of the contact points. You can always remove the solder if you don't want it anymore. There's a thing called wicking where basically will suck up the solder. So it's not a permanent solution, but it's more of a fix. Um, and that can be undone. Now, easier fix, which doesn't require any tools, is just putting a thin strip of tin foil on each one of these pads and then putting a piece of tape across. So basically, all we're trying to do is increase the size, height of these pads just slightly to make better contact with these points. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the latching mechanism. It's basically a little just piece of plastic that's just hangs up, and there's like a little lip which indeed kind of locks into here. So theirs might be a little faulty. Either there's not a really good engaging lip there, so it doesn't um, really kind of lock in there. So that's one thing to look at. But like mine, I don't technically have to latch it. It can just be pulled down on by gravity, and it's still saying it's closed. So one thing you can do is to push down on the lid and see if the lid is indeed showing closed, and then try to lift up on the lid. When you lift up, can you lift it up, or is there some resistance? And if you do lift up on it, does the app say that the lid is open? If it is, then that indicating that there's not really a good connection here, and just by increasing the height of these pads will probably fix the issue. You can also maybe add a weight right here, a circular weight, or a little weight right here. Just keep in mind, make sure the weight's low profile, and this might help keep the lid down a little bit. Hopefully this video helps. If you guys have any more questions, comments, concerns, shoot me a comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond back to you promptly. If you like these type of videos, be sure to hit the like button, and if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button. This really helps out small YouTube channels. Thanks for watching, and hope the rest of your day goes well.